In this video, we'll be providing an overview on how you can apply your own inflation rates to your SEER estimate. If you go to the Options tab and then go to the Set Project Parameters, you'll notice that near the bottom, you have this Inflation Table in Use window. If you hit Change, you'll see that there are inflation rates for three different areas. You have inflation rates for the development, inflation rates for the production, and inflation rates for the operation support. You can always select the inflation rates that come with the model by default. However, there may come a time when these inflation rates don't necessarily represent the inflation rates that your team will be using. In that case, you can do one of two things. You can either edit the inflation rate and change the values that are currently there, or you can hit a new inflation rate. And you can create a new inflation table by providing it a file name and a description. You'll be asked to enter in what the first year is, and then you'll be asked to provide the inflation rates for the preceding years. As you can imagine, filling out each one of these boxes can be quite time-consuming. So another way that you can add your inflation rates is by going to your file, going to this PC, Documents, SEER, and then selecting the SEER model, selecting inflation tables. And in here, you'll notice that this is where all the inflation tables are kept. If you want to create your own, one thing you can do is you can select one, just go to File, hit Save As, and you can create a new inflation table using one of the previous tables as a starting point. The one thing to note is that you do want to make sure that whatever you call it, it ends with .ini. From here, there will be a few areas you have to address. First, you're going to have to give it a description. Then you'll have to define what the first year is. And finally, you'll have to put the inflation for the development, the production, and the ONS. If you do not want to use the notepad, you can always copy everything and bring it into Excel. And you can make the adjustments in Excel and then paste back into the notepad. For now, we are going to change these values to something high, just so you can see that change when we go back into the SEER model. And we won't do every value, but we'll do the first 5. The last thing we want to make sure is we change our description so that we can find it in the drop-down menu on that inflation table. Once we are done, we can save. We can exit. We can go back to our SEER model. And now, once we close and then open back the menu, if we go at the very bottom, you will see that we have that new inflation table that we created. Once we select it, if we hit edit, you can see those changes that we made to the first 5 years. Now, since we didn't change the production or the ONS, when we select those, you'll notice that those have remained the same as before. We hope you found this video helpful, and as always, if you have any questions or concerns, please feel free to reach out to the Galera support team.